I still read our old messages when missing you becomes too heavy. There are nights when silence grows louder than words ever could. The world keeps moving, people keep talking, clocks keep ticking, but somehow everything slows down the moment your name crosses my mind. That is usually when I unlock my phone, scroll through conversations that should have become ordinary by now, and begin reading the words we once shared. I tell myself I am only looking for one message, just one, but one message becomes another, and another becomes an entire night filled with memories that refuse to fade. You probably don't know this, but every good morning, every random joke, every late-night conversation, every tiny argument, every apology, every drive safe, every I'm home, every heart emoji, they all became little pieces of my life that I never expected to treasure this much. Sometimes I smile while reading them, sometimes I laugh because we were so unbelievably awkward. Sometimes I pause because I can almost hear your voice behind every sentence, and sometimes I simply stare at the screen with tears in my eyes because I realize those moments belong to the past, yet my heart keeps trying to live inside them. People say moving on is about deleting conversations. I tried. My finger hovered over the delete button more than once, but every time I almost erased everything. My heart whispered the same question: what if one day these words are all I have left? So I kept them, not because I refused to move forward, but because they remind me that, at least once in this lifetime, someone made ordinary days feel extraordinary. I remember how excited I became whenever your notification appeared. It didn't matter how stressful my day had been. The moment your name lit up my screen, everything suddenly felt lighter. You never realized how powerful your presence was. You probably thought you were just sending another message, but for me, it felt like someone choosing me. Even if only for a few minutes. There were conversations that lasted until sunrise. There were moments when we talked about absolutely nothing: random memes, favorite songs, dream vacations, childhood stories, future plans, food, movies, questions without answers. Yet somehow those meaningless conversations became the most meaningful memories I own today. Funny, isn't it? The biggest moments in life are rarely the grand ones. Sometimes the memories that hurt the most are simply two people laughing over something nobody else would ever understand. I still remember the way you typed when you were excited. The way your replies became shorter whenever you were tired, the way you always found a reason to tease me, the way you accidentally revealed your feelings without realizing it. I noticed everything, even the little things you thought nobody would remember. I remember the messages you sent when you couldn't sleep. I remember the times you asked if I had eaten. I remember when you told me to take care of myself. At the time, those words felt ordinary. Now they feel priceless. Every old message has become a doorway. One sentence can transport me back to an evening filled with laughter. One emoji can remind me of hours spent talking until our phones nearly died. One picture can reopen feelings I thought had finally settled. Memory is strange. It never asks permission before visiting. It simply arrives, sometimes while hearing a familiar song, sometimes while walking past a familiar place, sometimes while seeing someone who laughs the way you used to, and sometimes it arrives through a conversation that has been sitting quietly inside my phone for months, waiting for the day my heart becomes too heavy again. I wonder if you ever read our old messages too. Do you smile at the same jokes? Do you remember the promises we made? Do you notice how much hope once lived between every sentence? Or have those conversations become nothing more than digital history for you? Maybe they have. Maybe that's how life works. Maybe people learn to close chapters while others continue rereading them. I don't blame you if you've moved forward. In fact, I hope you found peace. I hope someone makes you laugh the way you deserve. I hope your mornings are brighter. I hope your dreams become reality. And I hope life has been kinder to you than it sometimes was to us. Because love, real love, isn't always about holding on. Sometimes it quietly transforms into wishing happiness for someone, even when you are no longer the reason behind their smile. Still, there are moments when I miss us so much that I instinctively reach for my phone, forgetting that the conversations we once had no longer happen. For a brief second, I expect another message, another notification, another random "Are you awake?" another "Guess what happened today?" Another reason to smile. Then reality gently reminds me that some stories end long before our hearts are ready to accept the final page. So I return to the beginning. I open our old messages again, not because I want to live in yesterday forever, but because yesterday still carries pieces of a happiness that once felt endless. Every sentence reminds me that love was real. Every laugh reminds me that joy existed. Every heartfelt conversation reminds me that connection like ours is rare. Maybe one day I won't need to reread them anymore. Maybe one day the memories will stop hurting and begin healing instead. Until then, those messages remain more than words on a screen. They are little time capsules holding pieces of two hearts that once believed forever was possible. And whenever missing you becomes too heavy for my heart to carry alone, I quietly return to them, not searching for a way back, not expecting another chance, only searching for the comfort of remembering that, once upon a time, we had something beautiful.